All right, Happy New Year, everyone. The numbers are in for Majestic Beach in Panama City Beach for 2022. I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group at Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices. In this video, a little bit longer, probably 10, 11 minutes, I'm going to walk you through what happened in 2022 so we can get some sense of where we are and, most importantly, where prices may be headed going into the spring selling season in 2023. So a lot of data to go through with you, so let's get started. This is a graph that shows us from showing time where we schedule showing appointments. And one of the things two things that stand out to me here, the orange line is 2022. We were generally showing less real estate throughout the year. Early in the year, we were about the same as the previous couple of hot years, but we were showing less real estate throughout the year. That's why one of the reasons a lot of the market cooled off. Here was our normal slump around Thanksgiving, but we picked up again at the end of December. So I wanted to see how much did we pick up this year, especially with everything that happened with interest rates. The gray area here shows us the purchase index according to the Mortgage Bankers Association of America. From August 5th to January 5th, I thought this was pretty interesting. As we saw rates moving up, of course, we saw the purchase index coming down. By October 31st or so, it was at 160.5. It's sort of an arbitrary number. Well, not arbitrary, but their computation of how to arrive at this. But look at what's happened since then. Between October 31st and the end of the year, it's moved up about 12 or 13%. Plenty of condo purchases are still cash, but this gives us some sense that more buyers are getting engaged into the market, 12 or 13% more buyers than even just a couple of months ago. Encouraging thing, I think, for the market in general. Again, 2022 was the tale of two halves, really. The first half of the year was extremely intense. I'm going to show you a little bit about that in a second. The second half was just the opposite. But here's some total year numbers if you're a data geek like I am. We had 12% fewer condos for sale last year than we did the previous year. We had 35% fewer contracts written. That's a huge number. If you think about in terms of any kind of company year to year, having a change of 35% is a pretty big drop. We had 30% fewer actual closings, which led to 11% less volume. We did see a 27% appreciation rate, we saw 27% appreciation on the average sales price, which is one way to look at just how much we gained in price. Most of that happened early in the year. Another version of that, remember the red line represents the number of units for sale and the black line represents the number of closings. This is for the overall Gulfront market. Pardon me. The black line, look at November, December, January, February. We sold more condos than we had condos available for sale. That's how intense the market was. As the supply grew throughout the year, we had fewer and fewer closings. This is exactly as interest rates moved up, the economy hit the brakes, less demand. Of course, we're going to have more supply in the market. Another way to look at how intense things were, and I can't stress this enough because I think we took it for granted. But look at this. In January, we were at 0.51 months of inventory. Remember, months of inventory is a number that represents or is a good barometer of how hot or cold a market is. It takes the amount of units for sale, so in this case condos, and it takes into account the amount of demand it deals with that by the rate of sales, not just how many sales are happening, but the rate that they're happening. And it's moving all the time. We were at 0.51 months of inventory in January. 4 or 5 months of inventory on average represents a neutral market in real estate. And the idea of that is it takes about 4 or 5 months to work through the entire process of selling, calling the real estate office, photos, showings, contract negotiations, closing. That whole thing takes 4 or 5 months on average in real estate. We're not the stock market. For the entire average of the Gulfront market in the newer buildings, only comparing newer buildings here, so we're apples to apples with Majestic. On average, we were selling condos, working through that whole process in half of a month. That's how intense things were. Now, look, we've slowed down to what was concerning to me. We slowed down to 8.2 months of inventory in November. Like it sounds, if you put a condo up for sale in November, you were expecting it to take 8.2 months to sell. Very much a buyer's market. The reason that is important is that puts pressure on pricing down. We recovered nicely to December. We're only at 4.26 months of inventory. 4.26 is a very, very balanced market. If we stay there for a while, I don't see any big movements on pricing one way or the other. Again, this is the overall Gulf front market, but we don't have a lot of wiggle room there. If we do see a lot of owners call and put units up for sale in the spring and not a lot of demand, that could soften the market and we could see some pressure on pricing. A lot of people in housing are predicting price depreciation this year. When you look at Majestic specifically, I won't go through all these. Most of you, I think, are on our e-alert system, so you should be getting sales information. If you're not on the e-alert system and you would like to receive these, just shoot me a text to 850-527-0221, and I'll set you up. Anytime something happens in Majestic, goes up for sale, goes under contract, or sells, you'll be notified via email. Or I can even do it just by floor plan if you only want to follow your particular floor plan. At any rate, look at a couple of numbers here just to give you some sense of how much appreciation we did have. Tower 1, 2107, 475 sale, January 3rd, right at the beginning of the year. Remember that number, 475. Pardon me. By April, 530,000 for the same layout. Now I know condition and floor height and things like that have a lot to do with it, but this is a good representation of what happened with just how fast we were appreciating. 550,000, same month, 20 days later. 550,000, same layout. 550,000 again in May. I think that was it for the year. 554,900 still early June. So look at how much we've moved up just in a half of a year. I don't think I have another one of those to show you how we sort of pulled back a slight touch since then. Pause the video if you want to look at any of those specifically. Again, I've got it organized by date and price. Again, sign up for the e-alert system if you're interested to get those delivered directly to you. You can actually look at the photos and read the descriptions of every unit as it comes in. This is Majestic specifically. We had softened quite a bit in October. 11 months is pretty scary, but if you look at it overall, Majestic Beach still remains one of the hotter projects on the beach. Just the combination of the amenities, the layouts, the condition of the building, all those things matter, and it's still a very, very good project. The overall market, remember, is at 4.26 months of inventory. We're at 3.6 in Majestic, so it's a little hotter than the rest of the market. Only 11 units for sale in Majestic, which is not a huge number. So if you're thinking about selling this year in the spring, a couple of things to consider. Again, a lot of the experts are calling for depreciation in pricing and housing this year. That could be very possible. If so, another way to think about that is that the highest price for a Majestic condo that we would see this year could be now. At 4.26 months of inventory in the overall market, 3.6 in Majestic. At those numbers, I don't see any pressure down on pricing yet. We would need to get to 6, 7 and stay there consistently for a month or two or higher. So at the moment, I don't see that. I do expect that we'll see some people put units up for sale in the spring. It's very common for people to want to take advantage of the spring market. A couple of notes on timing. Plenty of people do that and don't start the process till like March or April. I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to consider, if you're thinking about selling in 2023, that you start the process sooner. A couple reasons. First of all, you'll beat some of the competition to the market, which could be very important this year. Another reason, to do it correctly, it takes a little bit of time. Plenty of agents say, oh, hey, I can have you on the MLS tomorrow. To take professional photos, shoot professional videos on a good weather day, just to get all that scheduled, edited, build websites, and get marketing in place. Sometimes I can do that in 5 or 7 days. Sometimes it takes 7, 10, 14 days between all those things to come together. So think about starting the process a little sooner. And then remember, it's still, we're still getting this marketing to most of the buyers who are probably somewhere else. It takes them time to digest it. And if we're at 3.6 months right now to sell something, um, getting started sooner in the possibility of a depreciating market and more competition is going to be better off for someone. Again, at the moment, I don't see strong signs of depreciation in the Majestic market. Um, we're going to obsess over the data this year. I think there's a lot of possibilities. The market could go in a few different directions. I do think price depreciation is possible. I think staying flat is possible. In our market and some of the nicer buildings like Majestic, slight appreciation, I think, is still in the cards. So we're going to look at this month over month over month to keep everyone updated so they can make better real estate decisions for themselves. Again, at the moment, no big, huge pressure on pricing down. We'll keep you updated next month. Again, if you want to be signed up for any of those systems where you either get our video every month or you get updated on action in Majestic, again, just shoot me a text, 850-527-0221. I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Thanks for watching.